Absolutely outrageous cryptocurrency price predictions are nothing new, with people seeking to gain clout and followers by predicting either extremely high cryptocurrency prices or by predicting that Bitcoin is going to zero, and you heard it here first. Although sensationalist cryptocurrency price predictions are both amusing and understandable, we generally expect that more established financial news outlets are going to perform their due diligence and give relatively accurate insight. That's why this recent article by Forbes that mentioned a $100 billion Bitcoin price prediction grabbed my attention. If a well-respected outlet such as Forbes was going to report a $100 billion Bitcoin price prediction, it certainly deserved my attention. So I looked into the article, I read through it, only to find that they had confused the difference between price and market capitalization. It's simple mix-ups such as these that remind us it is always important to do our own research in crypto and to fact-check our sources even when they are generally well respected. In today's post, we will cover the difference between market capitalization and price while also explaining just how hilariously absurd a $100 billion Bitcoin price prediction actually is. Hey everyone, and welcome back. This is the Part-Time Economist, and in today's video we are talking about this hilariously absurd $100 billion Bitcoin price prediction. But before I get into that, I do want to give a couple disclaimers. Number one, this is not financial advice. I'm not saying Bitcoin's going up, it's going down. I'm not saying Forbes is good, Forbes is bad. And then number two, I want to be very clear. I'm not picking a bone with Forbes. I'm not criticizing the author, the person that wrote this column. Simple mistakes are easy to make, but I do think it's a teaching point so we can understand a couple different things. Now, I kind of want to rewind and give the background here. I woke up, I was reading the cryptocurrency news, and I saw this price prediction of $100 billion for Bitcoin. I'll actually read the headline here. It says, surprise, 100 billion 2023 Bitcoin price prediction sends shockwaves through crypto markets. So you're thinking, wow, $100 billion per Bitcoin. Like, I have however many Bitcoin, if they're each worth this much, I'm going to be living an extravagant life beyond my wildest dreams. But when we open up the article and scroll down to the literally the very bottom, the last sentence of the article, it says, well, a further 70% decline that would reduce the Bitcoin market capitalization to around 100 billion and cause crypto chaos. Wow, what a letdown. We went from thinking we're going to be 100 billion per coin to 100 billion for the entire Bitcoin market. So if you've been around crypto investing, you may already know the difference between price and market cap, but if you don't, that's what I'm going to explain in today's video. So price is going to be the more simple of the two. We deal with prices every day. A gallon of gas is $3.59. That's how much we pay for each gallon of gas. A carton of eggs, I don't know the price, but let's say it's $2.50. That is the price we pay for each carton of eggs. It tells us nothing about the total value of the egg industry. It tells us nothing about the total value of Exxon or BP, who produces and delivers that gas for us to consume. Rather, when we think about the total value of an industry or a company or a market, we call that market capitalization. Perhaps you have watched the show Shark Tank, where investors will come on and they'll have this business idea and they'll say, I'm seeking however much money for this much share of my company. Let's just make the math simple. They come in, they say, I'm seeking $1,000 for a 10% share. The investors, the sharks, they will do some math and they'll say, oh, so you're valuing your company at $10,000, right? Because $1,000 for 10%, well, that would translate to $10,000 for the whole thing. And indeed, if we apply that to cryptocurrency, we have CoinGecko, we've got Bitcoin pulled up, we can see that the market capitalization is the current price times the circulating supply. So If I have 10 coins and they're $1 each, my market cap is $10. If I have 10 coins at $10 each, my market cap is $100. So you are perhaps starting to see where this headline by Forbes gets a little bit absurd, because right now the total market cap, right, the total value of the entire Bitcoin, right, the ecosystem, everything related to Bitcoin is about we'll round off and call that $330 billion, right? So we've got $17,000 per Bitcoin times the circulating supply of about 19 million. That gets us to where we are. Now, we've understood the basic premise of what market cap is, what price is. Let's just make this a little bit more fun now and see why this headline is just so absolutely ridiculous. So we need to know the market cap. So to find that, we're going to take the price prediction times the quantity. Well, right now we see that the circulating supply of Bitcoin, we'll round off, we'll call it 19 million. Now, if we go to a basic calculator, we're going to take this $100 billion price prediction that Forbes had on their headline. Now, if we have one Bitcoin at a price of 100 billion, the market cap of the Bitcoin ecosystem is 100 billion. If we go to just 10 Bitcoin, our market cap goes from 100 billion to 1 trillion. If we have 100 Bitcoin, our market cap goes from 100 billion up to 10 trillion. If we have 1,000 Bitcoin, we're at 100 trillion. If we have 10,000 Bitcoin, we are at whatever comes after trillions, right? And if we go from 10,000 Bitcoin all the way up to the 19 million, we start getting into numbers that are beyond belief. So let's just say even there's 1,000 Bitcoin, right? We're at $100 trillion market cap. So if we look at companies, right? We look at Apple. They're currently at about 2.26 trillion. Saudi Aramco, not super familiar with it, 1.83 trillion. Microsoft, 1.829 trillion. In fact, if we look at the total market capitalization of every single company that is in the S&P 500, the most valuable companies in the US, it is $33 trillion, right? So imagine having, right, 1,000 Bitcoin being worth multiple times the entire S&P 500, and that 1,000 Bitcoin, well, there's actually, 19 million Bitcoin. So it shows how important it is to really understand these key terms that we're talking about, because when someone says a price prediction, you want to be very clear. Are you talking about the price per coin? Or are you talking about the price of the entire ecosystem? If we're talking about the price per coin, that's what I'm thinking of as an investor, right? I'm going to go from $15 a coin to $20 a coin. If we're talking about market capitalization, then we're comparing it to other companies. And this is actually, again, not financial advice. This is actually a really cool trick when someone's talking about the price of a crypto and making these predictions. You always want to find a standard of comparison. So if someone told me the price of Bitcoin is going to go, let's just make up a number. Let's go back to Bitcoin here. Someone tells me the price of Bitcoin is going to go from $17,000 and it's going to go up to, let's just call it $20,000, right? I would take that $20,000 and I would multiply it by the circulating supply, and I would come up with some figure for the hypothesized market capitalization. So if someone said Bitcoin was going to $100,000 per coin, I would take $100,000, I would multiply it by 19 million, and I would get some valuation, right? Let's suppose that after I do all my math, the total valuation of Bitcoin comes out to be $10 trillion, right? What I would then do is I would go to some of the real world companies that I know. So let's go ahead and find where I have that. So I'm going to pull up some of these companies and I'm going to do a comparison. I'm going to say, do I think the value of the Bitcoin ecosystem, right, at this price point for this number of coins, does this valuation make sense based off what I see here with traditional companies, right? So if someone is going to say the price of Bitcoin is going to put it at a market cap of $2.26 trillion, I would have to ask myself, does the value of that Bitcoin ecosystem, does it align with the value that Apple is bringing, right? If someone gave me a price prediction, maybe a little bit lower, that said Bitcoin was going to be in the market cap range of, let's say, 326, right? We said Bitcoin right now is about 330 billion. So by that metric, we're saying, hey, Bitcoin as an entire ecosystem has about as much value as MasterCard or Home Depot, right? And these are things, again, not financial advice, but just kind of a sanity check, right? If someone tells me that Bitcoin's going to be 100 million per coin and it puts it at a market cap of, $500 trillion, I would come here and I would say, look, is Bitcoin really more valuable than all of these companies added together and then multiplied by 10, right? So just another thing to think about. Again, I want to be very clear, not financial advice, also not hating on Forbes. I read a lot of their articles. Simple mistake, anyone can make it, but I do think it presents a very good teaching point to remind us of two things. Number one, understand your financial terms. What's the difference between price and market cap? And then number two, always check your sources. Even someone that has the best intentions can make a mistake, and you don't want their mistake to become your investment loss. So, as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.